Supposed to flip.
There it is. All right.
How about that?
There it is.
Welcome everybody to another Georgia Archery podcast. I'm your host, Big John Chandler, and Will. This is where you talk about anything and everything to do with archery in the state of Georgia and Georgia archers wherever they may shoot. Um, and as if you can see, I have. Oh yeah, it's working. I have a special guest, Dewayne Horton from down there to the south. Hey, you got any snow down there, son?
No, we are dry down here.
Dry down there.
That's right.
Man, there's snow all over the place, brother.
Well, I take that back. It's sleeting a little bit. It did start sleeting
Yeah.
a while ago. When I got
Well,
back from the shop a while ago, it started sleeting.
I got you. So yeah, we um I just asked Dwayne to come on. We talked to each other. Let's see, we were at the ATA show and we talked about this.
Yeah, good old Indianapolis. How about that?
Oh yeah. Um that's your first ATA show, correct?
That is the first ATA show. I am hoping it's not my last. I'm hoping that it sticks around a lot longer because it was fun. It was a blast.
Oh yeah. It wasn't as big as it has been in the past. But for your first one, it still was a good one. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know what you missed because you had never done it before. So
Well, absolutely. That's what I was telling. So I went with Wildcat Archery down here in Pooler, Georgia. So Bill Henneman took me with him as a guest, and I'm gonna tell you, he was the whole time we were there. He was, trying to explain to me, hey, look here, it used to be this, it used to be that. But for me, it was, I mean, it was,
was
oh, it was huge. It
yeah,
was huge. Yeah, it was huge.
for sure. Well, you know um the cool part was I think we could get more business done. There was a time that you couldn't get as a shop, you couldn't get everything you needed done because the thing was so big that you couldn't stop and see the other booths. In other words, you would just go from this booth to that booth to we scheduled appointments, boom, 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 and you didn't have time to see the rest of it. And if you did, it was because you run by it and go, oh man, I need to look at that, and then you don't have a chance to look at it. So, um,
I actually seen that same sentiment on another podcast the other day. So I was watching bowhunt.com, and they said the exact same thing. Like,
yeah,
as a dealer, this was they got more. You get more done, but not because, I guess, because it was smaller, but
yeah,
you had a lot. You had more time to sit down and do your business than all the glitz and glam and and all the celebrities and stuff like that, taking pictures, yada yada, the whole deal. They said it was, there was a lot
girls with
more.
bows in the house.
Yeah,
Hello,
they
girl.
said it was a lot, streamlined, a lot more streamlined. It was more about business than it was
Well,
about.
I mean, the show is not a spectator show, right? I mean, it's a
Right.
it's for dealers to meet with manufacturers, place orders. I mean, that's what it's for. And yes, we get a chance to have good times and um, do things like that. But meet people that you haven't met. Like we call people on the telephone all the time and say, "Hey, I need to order this part, whatever." But then you get to meet the people that's answering the phone, so that's cool.
Right.
Excuse me. And um, you know, it used to be we'd see that all the new stuff, right? It would all launch then, and so I remember the American, the Choppers um, TV show that built motorcycles.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
All
right.
right, so yeah, with Paulie and his dad,
Orange,
um,
Orange, Orange County Chopper.
Orange County Choppers. Yep. So Orange County Choppers came out with this motorcycle to premiere a new bow for a bow company. It was the coolest thing. Those type of things were cool, and you only got to see it if it was if you were part of the dealer show.
Right.
So
Yeah. And that's exactly what that's exactly what everybody was saying is that look, it wasn't ever, I guess, supposed to be the about
extravaganza.
extravaganza, and it turned
Yep,
into it turned into a celebrity show, like
for
pretty much
sure.
a freaking celebrity show. That's what it turned into.
But
Even though we
so
still seen celebrities,
oh, we saw they were, of course,
they were, we're not saying they weren't there. They were there. Waddell was there. I think Nick Munt was
Mitch.
there.
Yep,
I think Levi was there for a day. Was
yep.
he there?
He
Was there
flew
for
in, flew out.
um,
Chris B was supposed to be, but things didn't work out. That weather came through, and it
yeah,
messed a few people up. So,
I heard there was 2,000. Was it 2,000 flights that were
yep,
canceled?
canceled.
Yeah, something like that.
So,
So,
yeah, but so this is your first ATA show. That was awesome. What did you see at the ATA show? What was the one thing that stood out to you that you've not seen before? That you're like, oh my goodness, I like this.
all right. So I guess the most innovative thing, even though tethered Limsaw won,
Yeah,
um,
that was cool. I mean,
and it was
definitely
super
cool.
cool. Don't get me wrong. And my club is sponsored by Tethered, so shout out to Tethered. But honestly, the most innovative thing that I thought was the HHS slap strap. And
Slap strap.
that slap strap was freaking. It was like mind blowing. Like why doesn't the hunting industry already have this? Like why
Why
haven't
don't we?
we
Why don't we
already
shift? Why
thought
don't
about
we shift our cables all the way up every time?
it? Yeah,
And
exactly.
then every time you lose your weight, it drops back down. You got to pick it back up.
Every time. So
Yep.
that was probably the most, not just the most innovative, but the most helpful tool that you could probably think about. Like if we were just not recreating a tool, like
I
because
got you.
sometimes it feels like we're just recreating the same
Oh
thing
yeah,
over again.
for
This
sure.
was completely different. It
Hmm.
wasn't a recreation, and it was super cool. I can't wait to get my hands on one and put it to work in the woods. To be honest with you, like it
I
was
got you.
it was
That's
pretty
cool.
cool.
For me, leaning on the non-hunting side, right,
Uh huh.
was the SOS system. Um, it intrigued me
Agreed.
because it was different.
Agreed.
Um, and then, I mean, yeah, we recreate, right? Shooting stool, right? We all got one,
That's right.
but the pad that was on top of that one
Super
was
cool.
was slick. So they made it better. You know what I mean? They turn things, move things, made it even better. So, um,
Yeah, that now I had a chance to talk with Eric and Braden about the SOS,
hmm
and I can tell you that, and also the engineer was there
oh
actually.
yeah,
So,
he was there.
so
Uh-huh.
he was there. So we actually had an opportunity to talk to him and how like what was my first question was like what was the mindset? Like what
Let's
started
set this
this?
off, right?
What was he thinking because archery because the guy was a skyscraper builder.
Your hold on, your mic cut.
Can you hear me?
Now it's a little better, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, I got you, but it's sort of a dark. It's not like it was. I
huh?
don't know what happened. There it is. Wait a minute.
You got me?
Yeah, there it is. I don't know what happened.
I don't know either.
You just had to
All right.
touch it the right way.
Yeah, I had to touch it the right way.
Yeah.
But so we had an opportunity to talk with the engineer, and
Yep.
the engineer is an actual skyscraper builder or whatever. Like the
Yeah.
guy built
Yeah.
like bridges and skyscrapers or whatever the case is. And so I was real interested to see how he come about jumping into the archery community with this, innovative product,
Yep.
and it basically from what Braden was saying is he's like, listen, if it can work on a skyscraper, why can't it work on a bow? You know what I'm saying? Like, why wouldn't it be able to work on a bow? And Braden basically broke it down and said, man, it'll take some getting used to. Like like you're gonna play with it, and you're gonna put it here, you're gonna put it there, in the front, the back, all this other stuff. The same things we do with our stabilizers now, but once you get it to where you want it, it 100% cleaned up all the pin movement in his bow. And
Yeah.
he even said that he won't shoot another tournament outside of World Archery because it's not allowed in World Archery.
Yeah.
But he won't, well, yet, there you go. So he won't shoot another tournament without one. So, and we're
Yeah.
talking about, probably one of the most decorated archers in our sport. You know what I
For
mean?
sure. He has always had pin float. I've been knowing Braden for a long time, and I've watched him. We've talked about why he shoots what he shoots and why he does what he does. He's always had pin float, like bigger pin float than what I would imagine a pro would have, right? And
Oh,
then
wow. Okay.
he is always, he's always talked about it and this, that, and other. And I remember, I'll say that we were at Gator Cup one time, and he drew back and anchored, and he never broke the shot, and he let down. And I was like, "Well, what happened there?" He's like, it it did." Um, he goes, "It didn't move," and he didn't know how to act. So, um, you know, it was like, well, if he said I didn't know what to do because it didn't move. He said I didn't know how to activate my shot. And I'm like,
Right.
wow,
Right.
you know. So, and that's when we started talking about pin movement. And so when he told me he put it on there and he lost all his pin movement, he said it's like sitting on a rest. He said essentially you could see her breathe, you
Hmm.
know, but he said it's not like the jittery, for boom, boom, boom that you used to have. He said, now, no doubt, you got to play with it. He said, it's not like you just bolt it on and it fixes it.
Right. Yeah.
You got to find the frequency, find the float, so it's a tinkerer's dream, is what
Right.
I'll say.
Well, it's exactly what it was, and that's exactly what he said. I mean, and I think, we're all used to pin flip, right? Because your
Oh,
pin
for
never
sure.
stops moving. All right,
No.
so we're all used to it, and you got to get used to it. And it's real scary when it don't move. Like
Oh yeah.
like when mine parks, I freak myself out when it parks. Like it's like holy crap! Like that thing's supposed to be moving, and all of a sudden it just ain't moving anymore. Like I would imagine that takes some getting used to. And he didn't say it completely stops your pin. Like he
Yep.
didn't say that at all. And he even said that people who don't have a dramatic pin float, like if you just have a small pin float naturally, that
Mm-hmm.
you probably won't be able to. That you, it's not a it won't be a
It
drastic
won't be a
change
drastic
for
move.
you.
Yes.
Right. It won't be a drastic change for you, but it still cleans it up, and you, even though you can't tell it, like it's still going to clean it up.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, and then the stool, right? And if you saw the stool, anybody who saw the stool that wanted to buy the stool, they're supposed to be available in Foley.
Right.
Um, so essentially, that's where they're going to receive their delivery is in Foley. So if you're wanting one of those stools, the fastest way to get one is probably in Foley because he's not going to sell a dealer one until after Foley to see how many they sell at Foley.
That's right.
What are you working on over there?
I gotta get my. You're gonna get mad at me though. I gotta get my charger out.
Oh Lord, he forgot to plug in his phone. Rookie.
No, I'm on my computer right now,
Oh,
and I hadn't been on my computer today, and I didn't realize it was this low. So
rookie. Still same thing. Rookie.
I know, same thing.
It's all right. Yeah, but this is. I mean, when's the last time you've actually tried out your mic and headset combination?
It has been in a box for quite some time. Like it's been in a box for a while. Like I tried it out when I first got it, and then
Yep.
I decided to move my daughter's room and make my plug this up for me, baby. I decided to move my daughter's room and make her room my podcast room,
Yeah,
and she isn't fully moved in yet. So
I understand.
we have that.
Yeah, of course, right? It's just one of those things that as people do whatever they do. But dude, so while we've gone through the ATA, that was our favorite things from the ATA. I mean, did you shoot a bunch of bows from the ATA?
Let me see what did I shoot? I shot the P. I shot no. I shot Darton.
Okay.
Yeah, I shot Darton.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not. anybody who knows me knows I'm a full
Straight up,
fledged diehard,
you're an elite guy. You
elite.
bleed blue.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I'm gonna tell
Great
you something.
company.
I could probably shoot that sequel 35. That
It does
sequel
shoot.
35.
The new one.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it
That's a
has some.
shooter. That
It
bow's a
has
shooter.
it has some adjustments on it that nobody else does.
Hmm.
With that cable twist thing. It's pretty neat to do your timing and then to rock the limbs to get them stiffer and all whatever.
That was super cool. I'm not gonna. I'm not that.
Look,
So that
look at that. Alicia says, "Yep."
I've been shooting. I'm not gonna lie. I've never owned another buck. Like honestly, I've
I understand.
personally never owned another manufacturer, and I've shot them, and there's some that I like.
Yep.
I've shot the Hoyt Concept X. I shot that. I didn't shoot that at ATA because they weren't there, but
No,
so I like that bow.
but you've shot it. Bill's got one.
Bill's got one, yeah. So
Yep.
I
It's
shot it,
red.
and it is red.
Oh
And
my god! But Bill's always had a red bow.
that's all he ever gets is red
I
and
mean,
black.
he's
That's
a
all
red bow guy.
That's right. And let me see. I shot the new Bowtech.
Okay.
I shot
The
that. Yeah.
the lightweight, big price tag bow. Did I
Yeah.
say that out loud? Ooh,
Yeah, you did.
it
Yeah.
does.
I just and that was what? And talking with the rep, like that was a so that was my main question to the rep
Which
was like, how do you justify that?
which rep did you talk to?
What was
Bill's
his
rep?
name? Was it? No, I don't think it was Bill's. It was
Okay.
another, but that guy wasn't there.
Okay, he wasn't. Sanders wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there. So we
Okay,
ended up having to talk to somebody else.
I got you.
Yeah, it was kind of. I'm not gonna.
It's
Anyways,
okay.
anyways,
Look,
yeah,
look. I shot
you
that.
know what I'm saying. So,
I shot Bowtech for 5 years. Um,
yeah, that thing was just. I don't understand how they get away with it. Like, how do you get away? How do you get away with? And it's almost like, and I had the same conversation about about Matthew.
yeah.
It's almost you just have your diehard peever, and it's almost like you're in a cult, right?
Well, yeah.
I'm an elite guy, and I'm not going to leave elite. You're a Bowtech guy, you're not going to leave Bowtech. You're a, you're a Matthews guy.
Hello, Gainesville. I'm just.
Hello from Gainesville.
That's right.
But I think we fall into these. I think we fall into these categories, and it's almost like no matter what, we're just going to stick with it. You know what I mean? We're just
Oh
going to
yeah.
stick with it.
I shot one brand for 23 or 24 years straight.
So what you shooting this year, John? Tell everybody. You
Nobody,
want to tell everybody?
nobody's dug into that pocket yet. Come on now. Look, we just teasing
That's what
around
this
on.
is for. That's what this is
We just
for.
we just teasing about different stuff. I shot PSE. All right, for 26 years of running the tournament trail, shooting tournaments, doing everything. 26 years, I think 24 of those I shot PSE.
Okay.
There along the line, sometime I switched companies for 2 years because it was a 2 year contract, and I shot for Hoyt.
Okay.
Um, and then I had Rep, which I was great friends with PSE, Jim. I love Jim to death. He called me one day and he goes, "Hey, I got the bow for you." I was like, "Dude, I'm on the way to sign my second contract for my next 2 years." And oh my God, I ain't posting that yet. I ain't talking about that yet. Everybody's over there going to see it. Look at
Calm
this.
down.
Hold
Calm
on.
down. I see
Look.
your.
Oh Lord. Anyway, um, so she, and Jim says, "Hey, I got the bow for you." I'm like, "Look, I'm fixing to turn in and go sign my contract. I was going to meet with the other rep at his house, sign the contract, so forth." He goes, "Nope." He said, "I tell you what, I got the bow for you, and I'll put it on your front porch. And when you get home, it'll be on your front porch, and when it's on, then you decide." So I turned around from Atlanta, drove all the way back home, and sure enough, the bow's sitting on my front porch. Then I switched back. Right,
Okay.
2 year stint, and I stayed with PSE for a long time. After that, PSE changed some of their things and how they do things, um, and I switched. At the time, I picked up then was a Hoyt Verdict. I think it was the Verdict. No, what was it called? Anyway, the Hoyt tournament bow and the Bowtech tournament bow, and I sat them and I shot them side by side, and they both shot well. They both shot good. Both shot great scores with them. I happened to be good friends with the rep at Bowtech at the time, and I decided to go that route. For the last 5 years, until 2020 till 2024, so 2019 to 2024, I shot Bowtech, and I still have two Bowtechs set up at my shop. That's what's set up. That's what's got everything on it. But I have a different bow being delivered to the shop or delivered to the house, one whichever one shows up first. Um, and I will be shooting Hoyt.
There you go.
That Concept X, you mentioned it. It shoots really, really, really good.
That bow does shoot really good.
It
I'm extremely impressed. I was impressed with that bow. I really
it
was.
is in my opinion, the best Hoyt shooting bow that I have shot in years.
Absolutely. Uh, and okay, so for me, I haven't been around as long as you, right?
Yes,
Even
sir.
though even though my dad shot in the
Yes, he
80s.
did. Fingers way back when.
Yeah, so daddy shot in the 80s, and he shot fingers, and my daddy shot Martin, which he had a Hoyt. He started with Hoyt, and I can remember the apple on the bow, and I was 11, 12 years old back then, and then he traded it for Martin. He still got that old Martin in the
Oh yeah,
closet.
it's one of those
It's a
I'm
beautiful
not gonna let
bow.
go of. Yeah.
Oh my God, beautiful bow.
Oh, for
And
sure.
and anyway, so he shot fingers, and then he let we let the sport go for 20 plus years or
Oh
whatever.
yeah. Well, you
Well,
did other things.
oh yeah, we did a lot of things. We built built a roofing company was one of the
That's
things we were we were trying to do.
for
But
sure.
um, so when we got back into it, I mean, obviously it was the ugly, nasty COVID is what pushed a lot of people into this sport, and
Couldn't do
and we
anything else. You might as
right
well
we didn't
shoot a
have
bow in your backyard.
right, so we were no different. So when I picked the bow up, it was elite. And ever since I've known you,
Yep.
you've been shooting bow tech. So
I
I
have.
didn't even know you had a history with another company. I had
Oh,
no
for
idea
sure.
that you had a
Oh yeah.
history with another company. Yeah. So my bow has been elite. It's been elite ever since I started
Yeah,
shooting.
and nothing's wrong with that. I mean, those guys are awesome. I mean, I know some of the engineers, the people who work there. I know the owner of the company. I've met them, face to face. Great people, great stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that product. And the bow shoots good. And we have a lot of shooters out of our shop that shoot that product. I mean,
Yeah.
um, and are very successful with it. One being Alicia with Girls with Bows, which is in the house. Holler.
There she is.
Um, you know, and then Ken, which
Ken.
yep, Ken has to
Absolutely.
shoot, and then LJ. So we have a good group that shoots that bow. So I'm never going to say anything bad about that bow by that company because the company itself is just, they're making good products, and Curtis Broadnax has been shooting it a long time. You
A
know,
long time. Yeah. Curtis has been shooting it a real long time. And I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I think that watching what y'all do and have done up in Middle Georgia for us in South Georgia, it's real hard to get a following, down here. Even though we have one of the oldest clubs in the state down
yep,
here,
that's
but for
true.
whatever reason, it's just real hard to get the archery community down here like y'all have up there,
Well,
right?
that didn't happen overnight either, and
No,
it
no, no, no.
also has to do with Atlanta's dense population, right?
Sure.
I mean, and you figure if you push out from the Atlanta population and all of the surrounding areas, I mean, it just more people, more rows. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
just in general.
absolutely, absolutely. We're
Um,
getting more though. I'm
oh yeah,
taking. Let's see. We got generally when we travel to nationals and stuff like that. We pretty much bring around 4 or 5 people.
yeah. I got to
Come.
watch most of those guys shoot down for the money the other night at your place.
That was fun. That was fun. We had a good time. We had
Yeah.
a real good time. I think that so we're taking a couple other guys going to Lancaster this year with us that ain't
Yeah.
never
So
been.
that's like this weekend.
That is, we're leaving in the morning.
I
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah, we're leaving in. We're gonna brave the storm, and
I hear you.
so that was the that so that the meaning of that shoot actually was to get everybody kind of ready and get the jitters and because no because if you never stood on the line with that many people, like it's something like
Oh, for sure.
it's a
It's a
whole
different
nother
monster.
animal. It's a whole nother animal. And at the end of the shoot, so we did a bracket style, and we kind of like a head to head deal almost, and and a lot of the guys were like, "Man, that was awesome! Like that right there was freaking awesome." You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like it was, the jitters and the anxiety and the head to head, and it was like you can't miss this, and if you did miss, then it was it was just it was really cool. It was really neat, So it was
That's
something to do for sure.
this is your fourth year going, correct?
This no, this is so
Fifth year.
I was reminded the other it was my this will be my third year going, not
Oh,
fourth.
third year.
This is my third year. Yeah, this is my third year going. We have a pretty good time when we go though. We have a good time. I haven't made the cut yet. Dad was close the first year. He I think he was the first man out the
Yep.
first year. So Dad was first man out the first year. We're taking Buster Morale. He's going. The first year we went, I shot bow hunter freestyle that first year, and then
Out
I
of
jumped
body.
jumped to freestyle.
Sean says it's an out of body experience.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It is.
Um, I remember my first national tournament. With that many people standing on the line. Yeah. Look, Dad says, what did he say? Third time's a charm, baby.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping. That's for sure.
Well, you've
I
learned a
ain't-
lot. I know we've talked. We talked
oh
at the
yeah.
Lancaster last year.
Right.
And a
hmm
little bit of talking, and just a few things to help with the tournament. I call it tournament anxiety. Right? Is
Absolutely.
you have to learn to shoot with people. That was the reason you built your range.
It is. It
Stick
is.
people on the line beside you. You shot the Ogeechee Bowman event the other day, right?
I did. I shot it the other day, and
It
it,
was
it
a,
was
it was different people, right?
yeah. I usually go to that every year
Yep.
and shoot it, and the reason I go to it, even though it's a 5 spot and I'm getting ready for a 3 spot, right? Even
Arrows
though
are
it's
arrows,
arrows are arrows, and you're
and
still standing beside,
different
like
people, different things.
24 inches
Yep.
away from somebody, and it's the anxiety is just ridiculous. So number one, that's the reason why I shot it, and I shot.
Hello.
Are you there?
Yep. I was just I'm answering questions as you go.
Oh,
So I'm
okay, I
popping
got
up. I don't know if you see I'm popping up as
you. Oh,
they post things.
yeah, I see him. I see him. Yeah,
Oh.
Laney, Daddy, and
Yep.
Girls with Bows is commenting over there. Yeah, I cannot for the life. I don't understand. So I talked to Alicia the other day
Yep.
with Girls with Bows, and she, for whatever reason, cannot get Ken to commit to an
Um.
indoor event at
Well,
all.
I tell you, we came close. If he
Okay.
had shot, uh, there's old Rodney. Look at this, old Rodney coming in the house. Look,
Yeah. So, yeah, I am so. Well, I'm flirting with it. I
he's
told him
put
I'm
it
going
every.
to.
Look, he's always the bow's for sale every time he leaves the tournament and he doesn't do well. I've seen it. I've seen it before. That's all a
I got a.
lie.
Hey, I got a pickleball set up in my Amazon cart right now that I swear to God I'm
You,
going to
you're
sell
not,
everything and play pickleball,
dude.
man. I'm
Pick up.
saying.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yep.
crazy.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah, so I mean, and the Ken, if he had shot his 300s earlier, I really believe he would have been committed. There's no doubt about it.
he's been smoking it for the
He
past.
has. There's no
I
doubt. He
mean, the
has.
past month, I think. I mean,
He
for
has.
whatever. I
But
honestly feel like I've seen him post at least a 300 every time
in
he
practice,
posts. He's in three. And
in
we're talking Vegas,
in,
not Lancaster, right?
in
So
practice, yes,
yeah,
he did a couple of back to back. Um, he did some others. I'm telling you, there's some folks that come through the shop in practice. I mean, if I put 300s that We only post on our wall. You know, if you've ever seen the wall,
Hmm.
it has to be done in tournament or in league night, right?
Okay.
So if I started posting everybody's 300 that just came in and shot 300s,
Right.
I'd have the whole wall covered, right? Because there is a
Okay.
difference between shooting it in practice.
Oh, there's a five to 10 point swing. And that's what I tell the guys that come in that shoot with us is like, okay, so we have a
Yep.
text thread going, and everybody posts their scores. Like if you
Hmm.
practicing at the house or whatever, you post your scores. And I shot a 300 with 58, not 58, excuse me, with 28 XD.
I was gonna say, boy, you did good. 300 with 58. You
Right.
did. That's a blue and
I,
white face, baby.
That's a blue and white. So I shot a 28x in practice at the
Oh
shop,
yeah.
and it's like, yeah, that's great. Like I was killing it, killing it, killing it, and then I get beside somebody for money or for whatever, and you got
Well,
a 5 to 10 point swing right there,
there's
easy,
no doubt in my mind,
easy.
and I'm just gonna say it. I've watched you shoot, and I've watched you post different things, and every time that it's time to go live with a bunch of people, you had tournament anxiety, right?
It's bad. It's
And it's
bad.
bad. But you're working through it. Let's hope that this year is the year that you've sort of figured out that everybody standing on that line put their pants on the same way you do. It's 20 yards, just like it is at your range. The
Yeah,
lighting is still just the same. The freaking target is the same exact size. Nothing changed
John, let me tell you something.
except the location.
And the people that stand beside you. Like, if you've never been, like, so for everybody watching, right, or that's going to watch or whatever the case is, if you've never been to Lancaster, it's not you standing on the line with a bunch of amateurs. That's not how this works.
No, you could be standing right beside the biggest pro in
Oh,
the complex.
I was on the same bail
Yep.
with Lizelle Yatma, shot right beside me for 4.5 hours,
Yep.
and Paige Pierce shot right beside me,
Oh yeah.
and Tate and her fiance Tate. So I was on the same bail with Yatma, Tate, and Tate Pierce was the next bail over. So I'm sitting here with shooting with the best in the world, some of the best in the world. And as soon as they say start the score, you completely forget how like that's so that's my biggest thing is, and it's always been my biggest thing is I care what I look like while not just while I'm doing it, but sometimes I like, do I even have my shirt on right now? You know what I mean? Like that's what's going through my head. It's not, do am I
Well,
going to hit that
but here's
target
the
now? It's like,
here's
yeah,
the funny part. Like you said, I've been doing this a little longer. So everybody you named, right? I mean,
uh-huh,
I've been watching Paige shoot since she was 11 years old,
right,
right? And so I don't look at, and I know Tate from way back when, so to me, it's funny because I don't get Star Trek anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, that little kid from Denmark is a pretty darn good shooter, but he still does the same thing as everybody else. Bodie
absolutely,
Turner is a great guy, and Joel, I've texted Joel. We've talked to Joel several times and discussed things. But yes, they're great shooters, and I want to mimic their shooting for sure. But they still put their pants on the same way, and they still miss targets, right?
right, yeah,
And
yeah,
once you figure that out, sort of, excuse me, once you figure that out and you step up on that line, you're like, hey, these guys are just like me, and they really don't care what I do,
right,
because
yeah.
that's the
They're not
biggest
they're
thing.
not paying attention to you.
No, you
Yeah,
always think,
yeah.
oh man, if I screw up, they're gonna laugh at me or make jokes or whatever. But they don't
Oh yeah,
care because
yeah,
they're too busy. I mean, Paige is too busy making sure she does her job right. Tate's making his job right, and everybody else is making their job right, and that's what they're supposed. That's how it's supposed to be. I remember standing on the line with Chance Bobev, and he is that sucker can hold forever. Right?
right, yeah,
He
right,
jumps back, looks like a statue, and I can shoot 3 arrows with his one. There's no doubt about it.
right.
And we were standing there, and he was telling a joke, and I'm not going to tell the joke because we're going to not tell the joke. But
Right, right, right.
he just started with da 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 da, and the whistle blew. He stepped up, never said a word, shot his 3 arrows, and stepped off the line and gave the punchline. It was the craziest thing in the world. But it's like when the whistle blew, he went into go mode, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and you've done this. You work for a business. You know that when you're going to go meet with a client, you put yourself into go mode, right? You put yourself into that position. You know, this is what we need to do. Da 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 da. You know, and then as soon as you come out, you freaking fire up TikTok and make some stupid
Well,
video.
yeah, yeah. If you follow me on TikTok, then you know I'm a lot more I'm a lot more
Laid
lax.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
laid back when
but
it
you
comes
understand what I'm
to
saying, right? I mean,
yeah,
and
that's
that's
right. Yeah.
that's how they do it. They flip a switch, and so
Bro, they just need to teach me how
you
to
got to
flip
learn how
that
to flip
switch.
the switch, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to learn how to flip that switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes
So
sir.
I'm never going to be the greatest archer in the world. There's no doubt about it. I don't put in the time, but I can hold my
Well,
own. And I don't feel that, um, you know, I don't get the pressure because heck, it ain't going to change my life. Nothing there is going to change my life.
yeah, no, I have a hard time dealing with the fact. See, anybody that knows me, I'm a type A person. Like my
Yep.
personality is a type A personality. I've always been.
That's why indoor's so hard for you.
It's so hard for me because I've been, kind of top upper echelon in pretty much everything I've ever done. If I
Oh
committed
yeah.
myself to it, I was, up at top tier kind of guy.
Okay. I
So
understand.
when I don't finish, top of, top of the class, it just kind of, it burns my butt, and I put more dedication into it, and more dedication into it, and more dedication into it, and my wife,
But you know,
she
honestly,
hardly ever sees me, like, but
but you
when
know,
this,
sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes you can burn yourself out by just driving, 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 driving. You drive off the cliff, right?
sure, sure,
So you have to learn to break that apart, and that's what I call flipping the switch, right? You put yourself in that mode as hard as you can go between whistles, and be sure that after between whistles you can laugh and giggle and break the monotony. Because if you stay that tense for freaking 30 shots or 60 shots in a row, oh my friggin' goodness, you
oh yeah,
can't last. You felt
no,
like you done run a marathon. You're exhausted. You can't even hold your bow up by the end because you've been tense the whole time. So you got to learn to break that ice as you go.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
fact. So,
yeah, it
but
is.
you
Let
know,
me tell you. So funny story. Last year, I'm just gonna tell this funny story because I brought who I was shooting with up last year. So funny
okay.
story. Whenever they put me on the line with obviously the three people I just said.
Yep.
We shoot the first practice in, right? And I'm not John Chandler. I ain't been around this thing for 30 years, right? So
Oh yeah.
it's my first time meeting some of these people, right? So we walk down to go pull arrows, and so we go to pull arrows. I pull my arrows, and I turn around to go walk off, and Yatma looks at me and she goes like, "Oh, you're not pulling my arrows?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry." So I turn around, pull her arrows,
I
right?
remember this. Yeah.
I pull her arrows, and I'm
Oh
thinking,
man.
okay, maybe that's the only time. Listen, let me tell you something. For 4.5 hours,
You pulled her
I was
arrows, your arrows.
I was her caddy, bro.
Yep.
Like I was her arrow caddy. So I couldn't even worry about my shot or me shooting my shot. I'm just worried like now I gotta remember to pull this woman's arrows because
Yep.
like I'm her caddy now. You know what I mean? So yeah, so Lancaster turned into me being a freaking arrow
Bo
caddy.
Caddy. You're
Yeah,
just an
bro.
arrow puller.
Yeah, I was arrow puller the whole
I
time.
got you.
That was hilarious, dude.
Well,
It was
look, as we
funny.
do our normal breakdown, usually every week with Robbie or whoever, since we're doing this and we're doing it live, let's just talk about this weekend. So, Indoor Lancaster starts on Thursday. They actually start their first line on Thursday.
Yep. So they have lines on Thursday. That's right.
Yep. So over at Spooky Nook in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Um, it goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you can see the rest of the shoot downs on Sunday. Um, Also on uh, shout out to my wife. Her birthday is the Friday,
Happy
so
birthday.
yep, she'll be 21 again.
There
Um,
you go.
So, um, so Rocky Creek canceled last weekend because of the weather.
Are they shooting this weekend?
So they pushed it to this weekend.
Okay, cool.
So Rocky Creek is on the list. The GAA, the Georgia Archery Association, has their JOAD indoor on Saturday down in Statesboro.
It's in Statesboro. That's
Yep.
right.
So, and also there's an S3DA indoor regional up in Blairsville Road. I think it's White County or whatever this weekend. Let me make sure I'm telling you correctly. Yeah, up in Cleveland, Georgia. They have their fifth regional this weekend. That's on Saturday.
How many
Sunday,
kids do you got to count how many kids are registered for that yet? Do you
I
know?
could probably pull it up in just a second. Sunday, Lancaster, you have to get up early and watch the shoot down because they run all day long. And the GAA also has their 18-meter indoor for the adults and the kids. So that's the regular state championship. Joad's on Saturday, the regular state championships on Sunday. So that's what we have going on in the state of Georgia for this weekend.
Okay. So
So,
we're cranking 3D up
yep, 3D
already.
starting. Yep,
Super. Why do I feel like it's so early for 3D right
it's really not. There's a lot of clubs who started out early because it's just, I mean, people want to knock the rust off. I mean, they really do. Um,
These
and
are
so,
these are the diehard 3D
oh
artists.
yeah,
I'm
oh
not
for
shooting anything but 3D.
for
Like
sure.
that is it. You
Yeah,
know.
they've been chomping at the bit
That's right.
all day long to you know wait for. Well, they were waiting for that date to come. It didn't
That's
make a
right.
darn what it did. Our I'm trying to pull it up. White County entry list. I'm pulling it up as we speak.
I'm I'm just
96 youth archers.
holy moly, that is insane. And we've had some conversation about S3DA
Oh, for
and the
sure.
numbers that they pump out. And let me tell you something, those to get the amount of kids, that amount of kids in one place. Look, kudos to the parents and the coaches for dealing. Because listen here, my youngest daughter played travel league softball, and
Oh
that
yeah.
was a
Oh,
like
for
I can
sure.
only imagine what 100 kids in one
That's
building,
right.
one place is going to look like. That's
Well,
insane.
they break out multiple lines. Thank goodness,
Hmm.
because a lot of these smaller venues, little, Bill's venue, my venue, they don't have as many, so we run multiple lines. So it's
Okay.
not all 96 at one time. Um, but yeah, so the average last year was about 100, 102 archers youth at every event.
That's amazing.
That's
That's
what the
amazing.
average was. So, um, and I mean, we had 140, 150 at the state championship. So, um,
Man, it's amazing.
it's pretty cool because that shows you the growth of archery in general and what they got going on.
And that's Georgia, right?
Yeah, that's just Georgia.
That's
Yep.
just Georgia. That's amazing. That's awesome.
So, they definitely be doing their thing. So, but yeah, so that's what's going on this weekend. There's more stuff on the thing. If you want to find out all that information, you can find it at www.georgearchery.com, and you can click on the calendar link. If you have a shoot or know about a shoot that's not on that calendar, you can send me an email at georgearchery@gmail.com with all the information, and it'll get posted. Because if we don't have it posted, nobody sees it. And that's why we want to get to going and doing this thing. Yeah, I can't wait for this year either. It's going good. Did you see the note from ASA that says that they've moved everybody to a Friday Saturday time?
I did see that, and I honestly, uh, I felt it coming last year when they did our class. I shoot K50, and they did our
You
class.
have to go
So
see
they
it. Yeah.
right. So they did away with our Sunday option last year, and I almost seen the writing on the wall. Then you know what I mean, like. And I had this conversation with a bunch of people since last year, and
Well,
when
the
we
math
got that
is
email, it
the
just made
math is
sense.
there,
The
right?
math's there. It
85
makes sense.
85% shoot Friday Saturday.
That's right.
So yes, they're still going to have the Sunday option, but if they figure they get everybody out on Friday, Saturday, then the few people who have school can't get there till Saturday, you know,
Hmm. That's right.
job that won't let you off, and they can shoot the Saturday, Sunday option.
That's
So
right.
that's pretty cool. I mean, excuse me,
With
but yeah,
85% of the whole, with 85% of the tournament, and that's
yep,
what we're talking about here. We're talking about
85%.
85% of the tournament shooting the Friday and the Friday option. It
Yep,
just completely made sense. I mean,
yep,
the past 5 years that I've been going, and I've been going since 2020.
yep,
Well, and then we had the COVID years we didn't
yep.
go,
So it'd
but
be 2021, really. Yeah.
yeah, 2021. So I think I can only remember a handful, maybe one or two times that I shot
Oh,
Sunday,
for yeah.
something like that. That was it.
Hmm.
So it just makes sense, really.
Oh, for sure. But yeah. Um, and yeah, if you can be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, uh,
And TikTok, by the way, TikTok.
TikTok.
Even
Uh,
though even though we're on the TikTok's on probation for 90
yes.
days, we're TikTok
Um,
too.
Instagram. Let's see, Snappy Chats, whatever. You can find us everywhere. But hey, look, Dwayne, everybody knows you as you, but you also run an organization in Savannah. Well, it's actually Richmond Hill, right?
Richmond, yeah, yeah,
Which is just outside. I mean,
yeah. 15 minutes away from Savannah.
that's right. So tell us all about where to find you at and where to find your information.
So Facebook at Coastal Empire Archers. So our schedule's on there. We're going to be doing a 3D events, all year long.
Yep.
Primarily the week before every national. I got a Instagram page. The Instagram page is Agichi Obsession, and then pretty much just on Facebook right now. And then my TikTok is my personal TikTok. So
I
it's
understand.
for
Yep.
it's for it's for adults only.
It's for funny laughs. If you ever find him, you have a good time. Let's see. Answer this question right quick. This question says, known 50. No, any 50-yard class has always been Friday, Saturday. They had cut that 2 years ago, I think it was.
No, last year. No, two
Was it
years
just
ago.
last year? Was it?
It might have been 2 years
I
ago.
think it was
No,
two
it was
years.
no, it was last year because Foley. I can remember Foley. We had the option on Sunday,
I
and then
guess.
they took it away from us. So when we got to Benning,
Yep.
we didn't have the option
As
at Benning.
far as I
But
know, that's the way it reads. But don't hold me to it. There's a whole long list of whatever, and they'll answer the phone if you need to call and ask those questions.
that's right.
So
That's right.
it
We
says
don't need no
coastal.
TikTok. No, we don't need a
Coastal.
TikTok.
Look, because you know what will happen, right? You'll mess up, post the wrong thing on the wrong thing.
Exactly. I'm good with my personal TikTok. I got
Yep.
86,000 followers on my
You.
TikTok page.
Everybody likes
You know.
grandma. Anyway. Oh, long story short, right there. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on. It's so much better to do this with somebody to laugh and giggle against, and talk about archery
Yeah,
because we both
absolutely.
we both love the sport and want it to grow. I mean, we've talked several times about it, and so I appreciate you, and
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate the phone call.
you know. Um, but yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this thing up. It's almost an hour long, and so
Answer that one right there, John, before we
this
go.
one right here, what does it say?
As a coach, that's coming from a coach standpoint. Answer that question as a coach, right there.
What's the most important thing to remember going to Lancaster? Have fun.
There you go. Amen, brother.
Enjoy the ride
That's it.
for
That's
sure.
it. That's it.
I have a student that's headed that way now who's never done this before. It's the biggest event they've ever been to. And I told him the same thing. First and foremost, have fun. I don't care if you come back and shot the wrong target. I really don't. I want you to have fun. I want you to learn how it works. If it's your first time, learn how it works because Dwayne will tell you he shot 4 times now, 3 times in a row. This will be his third.
Hmm.
So, and he's still learning how it works. you know.
Still learn.
So
learner.
yeah, learn how it works for sure. But yeah, keep up with everything on the webpage. There is a poll out that says what's your favorite indoor sport, and of course I had to put I hate indoor, and it's leading the poll right now on Facebook. So
I
um,
seen that actually. I seen that.
yeah, so I had to add that to it because I knew that was going to be the number one thing. But yeah,
I'm sure Alicia clicked I hate indoor.
well, it's just what it is. But yeah, until next time, I'm Big John, and he is, come on,
Dwayne.
Dwayne, and we'll see you. Look at that.
Yay!
You had to pick it,
Yay!
had to put it in there. All right, brother.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.